Welcome back to the shadows, my friends. Tonight we explore the unsettling world of gargoyles, those stone sentinels perched atop ancient structures. Legend has it that under the cover of darkness, these grotesque figures stir, their eyes glowing with an eerie light. Prepare yourself for 3 tales of these creatures, frozen in stone by day but whispered to stalk the night. Nestled in the heart of a forgotten city stands a cathedral, its spire piercing the sky like a skeletal finger. This ancient structure, with its towering presence, has been a silent witness to the passage of time, its stones soaked in the history and mystery of ages long gone. For centuries it has stood watch, a silent guardian of secrets and shadows. The cathedral's walls have absorbed the whispers of countless generations, each one adding to the tapestry of legends that surround it. But it is the cathedral's gargoyles that truly captivate the imagination and chill the very marrow. These stone sentinels, with their grotesque features and menacing stares, seem almost alive, as if they are waiting for the right moment to spring into action. Locals whisper of their watchful gaze, their expressions shifting with the phases of the moon. Some say that on certain nights, when the moon is full and the air is thick with anticipation, the gargoyles come to life, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. One stormy night, a young bell ringer named Thomas found himself alone in the cathedral. The wind howled through the ancient halls and the rain battered against the stained glass windows, creating an eerie symphony of sound. As thunder shook the ancient stones, he swore he saw movement in the shadows. The flickering candlelight cast eerie shapes on the walls, and Thomas felt a chill run down his spine as he realized he was not alone. A gargoyle perched high above the nave seemed to turn its head, its eyes burning with an infernal light. Thomas's heart pounded in his chest as he watched the stone creature come to life before his very eyes. Panic seized Thomas's heart as he fled through the echoing halls, the sound of his own footsteps swallowed by the storm. He could feel the gargoyle's gaze following him, its presence a constant oppressive weight on his shoulders. From that night forward, Thomas was never the same. He spoke of feeling a constant presence, a cold dread that clung to him like a shroud. His once bright eyes became haunted, and he was plagued by nightmares of the gargoyle's burning gaze. He spoke of feeling a constant presence, a cold dread that clung to him like a shroud. No matter where he went, he felt the eyes of the gargoyle upon him, watching, waiting. Some dismissed his claims as madness, but others, those who knew the cathedral's dark history, believed him. They had heard the stories of the cursed gargoyles, and they knew that Thomas's experience was not unique. They knew that the gargoyles were more than just stone. They were guardians of something ancient and evil, something that watched and waited for its moment to break free. The gargoyles were said to be the keepers of a dark secret, one that could bring about unimaginable terror if unleashed. They were guardians of something ancient and evil, something that watched and waited for its moment to break free. The cathedral itself seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, as if it were alive and aware of the dark forces contained within its walls. To this day, the cathedral stands, a testament to a time long past. Its spire reaches towards the heavens, a silent reminder of the dark history that lies within. The gargoyles remain perched on their ledges, ever watchful, ever waiting. And as the sun sets, casting long shadows across the city, one can almost feel the gaze of the gargoyles, their cold stone eyes boring into your very soul. The cathedral's curse lives on, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurks just beneath the surface of our world. Our next tale takes us to a quaint, unassuming town nestled amidst rolling hills. This town, with its cobblestone streets and charming houses, seems like a place where time stands still, a place where the hustle and bustle of the modern world feels like a distant memory. Here, a solitary gargoyle perches atop the town hall, its expression stoic, almost benevolent. This gargoyle, unlike any other, has become a symbol of protection and strength for the townspeople. Unlike the gargoyles of the cathedral, this one is revered, considered a protector, a guardian against the unseen forces that lurk in the night. Its presence is a constant reminder of the town's resilience and the mysterious forces that watch over it. Generations have passed, and the legend of the Gargoyle has been woven into the very fabric of the town's identity. The townspeople have come to see the Gargoyle as a silent sentinel, always watching, always protecting. Children grow up hearing tales of its watchful gaze, how it wards off evil spirits and keeps the townsfolk safe. These stories are passed down from one generation to the next, becoming a cherished part of the town's folklore. But like all legends, there is often a darker truth hidden beneath the surface. The stories told to children are only part of the tale, a comforting facade that hides a more sinister reality. One particularly dark and moonless night, a stranger arrived in town. His arrival was unexpected and his presence unsettling. He was tall and gaunt, with piercing eyes that seemed to see into your very soul. His gaze was intense, almost otherworldly, and it left the townspeople feeling uneasy. The townsfolk, ever welcoming, invited him to stay, unaware of the darkness he carried with him. They offered him food and shelter, never suspecting the true nature of his visit. That night the wind howled like a banshee, and a sense of unease settled over the town. The storm seemed to mirror the turmoil that the stranger's presence had brought. As the storm raged, the stranger made his way to the town hall, drawn by the silent power of the Gargoyle. The rain lashed against him, but he moved with purpose, as if guided by an unseen force. Standing before the statue, he began to chant in a language ancient and foul. His voice was low and guttural, the words seeming to resonate with the very stones of the town hall. The Gargoyle, for the first time in centuries, stirred. Its stone form seemed to come alive, as if awakening from a long slumber. Its stone eyes flickered and a low growl emanated from its throat. The sound was deep and menacing, a stark contrast to the silent guardian the townspeople had come to know. The legend of the protector, it seemed, was not entirely true. The Gargoyle's true nature was far more complex and dangerous than anyone had ever imagined. The Gargoyle was a being of immense power, but its allegiance was not so easily defined. It was neither wholly good nor entirely evil, but a force of nature that could be swayed by those who knew its secrets. The townspeople had always believed in its protection, but now they faced the terrifying reality of its true potential. Chapter 3. The Museum's Secret. Our final journey brings us to the heart of a bustling city, a place where the lights never dim and the streets are always alive with activity. Amidst the chaos and the noise, there lies a sanctuary of history and mystery. This sanctuary is a museum filled with ancient artifacts and forgotten relics, each piece telling a story of a time long past. The air is thick with the weight of history, and the walls seem to whisper secrets to those who listen closely. Amongst the dusty exhibits and dimly lit corridors where shadows dance and the silence is almost deafening, there is one piece that stands out, a gargoyle. Its presence both commanding and unsettling. Its features are twisted into a grotesque sneer, as if mocking those who dare to gaze upon it. It is said to be cursed, a malevolent force trapped within its stone form, blamed for a string of mysterious disappearances that have plagued the museum for decades. These disappearances have left a trail of sorrow and unanswered questions. It all began with a security guard, a seasoned veteran who knew every nook and cranny of the museum. One night he vanished without a trace, leaving behind only his flashlight still flickering in the dark. Then, a curator, known for his meticulous nature and dedication to preserving history, disappeared one night while working late. His colleagues found his office in disarray, with an unfinished report on the cursed gargoyle left on his desk, as if he had been interrupted mid-sentence. As the years passed, the disappearances continued, each one more baffling than the last. The museum's halls, once filled with the sounds of visitors, grew eerily silent. Each disappearance was shrouded in mystery, with no clues left behind, only the lingering fear that the gargoyle was somehow involved. Some whispered that the gargoyle was possessed, its stone form inhabited by a malevolent entity that thrived on fear and chaos. Others claimed that it was a gateway to another dimension, a place where the laws of time and space held no sway, and those who ventured too close were lost forever. Theories abounded, each more fantastical than the last, but one thing was certain. The gargoyle was at the center of it all. Whatever the truth, The gargoyle remained an enigma, a silent sentinel watching over the museum's secrets. One fateful night, a group of teenagers seeking thrills and Instagram fame broke into the museum. They were drawn by the allure of the unknown, the promise of a story that would set them apart. They had heard the legends, of course, tales of the cursed gargoyle and the disappearances that followed in its wake. But they dismissed them as mere stories, the kind of ghost tales told to scare children. As they made their way through the darkened exhibits, their laughter echoed through the halls, a stark contrast to the museum's usual silence. They joked and teased each other, their bravado masking the unease that gnawed at the edges of their minds. But when they came face to face with the gargoyle, their laughter died in their throats. Its eyes, once lifeless stone, seemed to burn with an unholy light, a malevolent glow that sent shivers down their spines. The teenagers laughed nervously, their bravado fading with each passing second. The air grew thick with tension, and the shadows seemed to close in around them. And then, one by one, they began to disappear. First it was the girl, her scream echoing through the empty halls, a chilling sound that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Then the boy, his pleas for help cut short by an unseen force. The remaining teenagers, paralyzed by fear, could only watch in horror as their friends vanished into thin air, their forms dissolving into the darkness. The next morning, the museum was in an uproar. The police were called, their presence a stark reminder of the gravity of the situation. They scoured the museum, searching for any clue that might explain the teenagers' disappearance. But despite their best efforts, no trace of the missing teenagers was ever found. The museum's halls were empty, the silence a haunting reminder of what had transpired. The gargoyle, however, remained, its stone face frozen in a mocking grin, as if it knew a secret that no one else could fathom. It had claimed its latest victims, and it seemed that nothing could stop it. The museum, once a place of learning and wonder, had become a place of fear and mystery, its secrets guarded by a stone sentinel with a malevolent grin. And so the legend of the cursed gargoyle lived on, a chilling tale that would be whispered in hushed tones for generations to come. The gargoyles, frozen in stone yet forever watching, their tales serve as a chilling reminder that some things are best left undisturbed. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the shadows. If you enjoyed these tales of stone and shadow, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more spine-chilling stories. Until next time, sleep well, and beware the gaze of the gargoyles.